Alicia had previously been distracted from her unwavering concentration on getting revenge for Rob's murder by the news of Tiff's pregnancy. She has, however, begun to suspect Zay of being involved in her son's death during the last few months. Among other reasons, she is certain that Nuck must have lied to her about the incident in order to protect himself. She cautions Tiff against beginning a romance of any type, particularly with someone like Nuck, for the same reason. Shaad, Alicia's lover and bodyguard, becomes irritated by his constant lack of significance in her life as all of this is going on. As a result, he ends up ending their relationship amicably while pledging to remain by her side as a security guard. A short while later, Bakery informs Alicia of some fascinating details regarding Rob's murder. Investigating Reg's reappearance, Detective Toussaint finds the young man and questions him about why he returned to the city. She also seems to believe that Rob's death was related to the mobster who was previously thought to be dead. Although Bakery is aware that Nuck is actually responsible for Alicia's son's murder, he brings Toussaint suspicions at the woman, probably igniting a purposeful fire. The criminal boss consequently decides to drive down to Reg's house. But in her rush and anger she shoots the incorrect person, Jamal, who was delivering something to the Taylor brothers' flat. As a result, Nuck's actions once again cost the wrong person. To unite the neighborhood and provide some summer sunshine, Zeke's megachurch throws a barbecue while the city's citizens struggle with the power outage. The pastor and his inner circle, which includes Charles and Papa, are compelled to suggest further events that the church can use to grow its membership because of the event's fantastic turnout. Charles, who is well known for having shady relationships with a lot of church ladies, naturally proposes holding dating and matchmaking gatherings. The pastor must concede that it would be a quick and simple approach to increase the number of people attending the church, despite his reluctance. To the chagrin of Zeke and Charles, one of the wrong people ends up walking into the picnic. To be nearer to her partner, Sarah, Zeke's covert lover, goes to the event. But the pastor and his right-hand man both concur that the church would suffer greatly from her presence. For starters, because Sarah is a white lady who stands out like a sore thumb in a church that is nearly entirely black, people will inevitably speak about her. As a result, she would receive unwelcome attention, which would cause her relationship with Zeke to be discovered. This would be the last thing the pastor needs after the scandal that surrounded his marriage in the past. Sarah appears to be aware of these difficulties for the time being. However, it appears that this will only become an issue for Zeke in the near future. As nearly every home in the city experiences a power outage, the different families are strapped in for a trying period. The majority of people must find innovative ways to deal with the heat, while others like Alicia can afford to use generators to keep the power on. As a result, Emmett and Keisha have a long day ahead of them with 2 children and one on the way. In the midst of the turmoil at home, the former gets a call from Damien, his half-brother, who needs a quick loan. Darnell previously alerts Emmett to his other son's gambling addiction, which was so bad that it required him to check himself into a recovery facility. Even so, Emmett gives the young man a sizable loan after he promises that it will only be used to settle another obligation and that he will pay it back shortly. But Damien's recent passion for card games leads him to a backroom game where the stakes are great and the players are cunning. To his friend's dismay, he is soon placing the money he received from Emmett on the table. As anticipated, Damien loses all he owns, including the loan he received from his brother, after making a reckless decision. As a result, he's currently in trouble with both his debtor and the expectant father. Therefore, we can anticipate that the young guy will go some dark paths as a result of this error of judgment.